Hi, my name is Garrett Portwood, and for my informative speech, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of nutrition stuff that I picked up when I started getting into powerlifting in college. I have since dropped off and got a little bit tubby because I haven't kept it going, but there's some pretty useful stuff that I've gotten from a couple different books that has helped me a lot along the way. So a little bit about me. Back when I was about 24, 23, around that age, I had gotten myself up to almost 250. I had gained a lot of weight. I was pretty skinny in high school. And I had stopped working out pretty regularly, like I had been, and I'd let myself go pretty bad. I started taking it seriously again, and I went down from 250 to 170 in about 4 months, 4 or 5. It was a long process, but I just used some of the methods that I had picked up from a couple books, such as Practical Programming and Starting Strength by Mark Ripito, 531, Beyond 531 by Jim Wendler, and some other basically powerlifting focused books, but there was a lot of nutritional stuff that I was able to pick up too, and other things I had picked up from blog posts that were pretty useful, Reddit and things like that. So the first thing I wanted to start off with was macros. Macros being the three basic components of what give us energy throughout the day and what help us recover if we go out and do anything physical. They give us mental energy and strength. Depending on when we eat, what we eat, these things can help us recover while we sleep, while we're going throughout our day, whether it be really physically demanding jobs, whether we're working out a lot. A good place to start is something called a TDEE calculator. TDEE stands for Total Daily Energy Expenditure, and I'm going to use that as one of my visuals. I pulled one up and filled it out. So I fill out my age, male or female, how much I weigh, and how tall I am. Right now, I consider myself in light exercise. So I'm doing a lot of physical work at my job, but I'm just now getting back into the gym, so I wouldn't technically qualify myself as moderate exercise yet. So I put down light exercise, 6'1", 185 pounds, 26-year-old male. And so what this does, you can see, I hope, here where it says calories per day. So this is your total daily energy expenditure. Someone working out pretty heavily is going to want to add maybe 500 calories to that if they want to bulk and get stronger. Someone who's trying to cut and lose weight may want to take 500 off of that. So let's say I was cutting, I would go down to 2,075 instead of 2,575. But this is a really useful metric because what you do with these is you break this down into the three basic macros. These macronutrients are protein, fat, and carbs. I'm sure we've all heard of those names, but not necessarily what they're composed of, what they do, and how necessary each one is. There are a lot of people who like to take the route of fasting or maybe keto diets, which is the process of creating ketosis in your body, which is less than 15 grams of carbs. It might be 10. I'm not quite sure on that one. However, that's just an example of different ways people try to lose weight. And these aren't all really necessary. A lot of it gets kind of sensationalized, marketed, sold by, big companies, nutrition nutrition companies that want to sell you a product for helping you get through a keto diet or something like that. I don't believe that it's the easiest way, and I do believe that there are easier ways to do it. And I found that out firsthand when I lost a crazy amount of weight, just kind of halfway focused on this. The trick is being disciplined and doing it every day. So basically with this TDEE calculator, what you do is, I'm going to give an example just to run you through it. 2575 is my daily caloric intake. That is necessary for light exercise. Less than that might be detrimental in some way. I'm not going to recover. I'm going to feel more tired. But you got to break it up in specific ways. So protein is the first one that I start with. A typically agreed upon fraction of your body weight is 0.8. So you're going to take your body weight times 0.8, and that's how many grams of protein you want to take in. Now, in each gram of protein, there are 4.5 calories. So you're going to take that number and multiply it by 4.5. Then fat is similar. You're going to take your body weight times 0.45, which seems really low. And when people start checking their macros, they're typically surprised at how much fat they're taking in. When you finish off your first meal of the day and you realize you've already gone over your fat intake, that's typically a pretty telling sign of places you need to fix. It may not be how often you're eating, but maybe it's the things you're eating, which is a pretty easy concept to understand. But having numbers to assign to it does help some people. So fat has 9 calories in each gram. So you're going to take that number that you got, your body weight times 0.45. Mine in this case is 83. So I multiplied that by 9. So now I have both calorie counts for fat and protein. What I'm going to do after that is I'm going to subtract that number, which is 1413 for me, from 2575, which is my daily intake. That leaves me with 1162. Now, that you're going to assign to carbs. Carbs are not going to be as bad for you if you're taking in the right ones. Left unchecked and taking too many in will convert it to fat over long periods of time. But typically what you want this for is to keep energy in, especially if you're going to have some sort of physical lifestyle of any sort. You know, if you're working a desk job, a sedentary lifestyle, and not working out, you're obviously not going to need that many calories. But there are also things to consider, that you can break this down into complex carbs and simple carbs. A pretty easy example for people that I say pretty often is, before working out, you might want to eat something like a peanut butter and banana sandwich. It's got a little bit of fat that's going to give you long-lasting energy that's going to burn over time. And then let's say you do bread with multigrain. That's going to have a lot of complex carbs in it. And then bananas, which are simple carbs mostly, and those are going to give you quick energy that's going to burn really fast. So it's going to get in your system, and you're going to be able to go through it really quick because of how sugary it is. But the complex carbs in like a multigrain bread is going to last you a lot longer. So this is good in understanding just some basic little things with how you eat. Looking at nutrition labels is a huge thing. Now that you have numbers broken up for what you're trying to hit each day, or not go over in the case of fat. That's about all I got, and that's nutrition and macros. Thanks.